Just ahead on CTV News.
TSA has a message for flyers who are going to fly the friendly skies this holiday season. I'm Bryce Parker. We have more coming up on CTV News.
Plus, Santa Claus makes a stop in Prince George's. And Simon Buggs has our Friday sports page. Those stories and more on CTV News starting now.
CTV News for December 20th. I'm Michaela Newton. Thanks so much for joining us. Well, with a government shutdown looming, House Republicans are rushing to craft a new spending plan after two bills failed this week, sinking amid President-elect Trump's last-minute demand to end the debt ceiling. Speaker Mike Johnson is now pushing a third plan splitting government funding, disaster aid, and the Farm Bill into separate votes. But some Democrats remain skeptical.
We want a deal that we negotiated before, and then there were a few of their members that didn't like it, and they began to fracture inside their caucus, and the problem's not on our side of the aisle.
Republicans blew up this deal. They did, and they need to fix this, period. They have to. Republican needs to stop playing politics with a government shutdown.
He could grow a spine right now, ignore his puppeteers, Musk and Trump. We're still not sure which one is going to be the real president. And then he could put this negotiated bill on the floor. The American people would be happy to be able to not have this chaos and uncertainty in their lives.
Now, if a deal isn't struck, millions of federal workers, including troops and border agents, could work without pay through the holidays. Well, meanwhile, President Joe Biden is spreading some holiday cheer to the millions of federal workers. Biden issued an executive order stating that federal agencies will be closed on Christmas Eve. Now, some federal employees may still have to show up to work, but that will be determined by the leaders of those departments and agencies. President-elect Trump, during his first term in office, gave federal employees an extra day off for Christmas Eve in 2020, 2019, and 2018. It's important to note that Christmas Day is a federal holiday, but Christmas Eve is not. And Governor Wes Moore signs an executive order in an effort to improve Maryland's economy long term. The goal of the order is to strengthen the state's business sector, which will in turn make Maryland's economy more competitive. The executive order also creates the governor's Office of Business Advancement, the Maryland Coordinated Permitting Review Council, and a Certified Sites program. Now, since taking office, the Moore administration has generated more than $4 billion in private sector investments. And the battle over the old Prince George's Hospital sites continues to heat up. The Bladensburg Town Council voted unanimously to annex the property from Cheverly last night. The site, known as Hospital Hill, is set to be redeveloped to become a town center for Cheverly. During a press conference yesterday, Cheverly's mayor, Casey Munyanek, says the town is prepared to take Bladensburg to court over this issue.
First thing we hope to achieve is for an injunction that would stop the process. Hopefully a judge will review the plan that they have submitted, see that it is not contiguous, and let them know that they would not be successful moving forward. As you can tell, we've got the support from the developer. Quite frankly, we expect to succeed with our efforts, and hopefully we can do that while still having our neighbors and our friends, Bladensburg, working with us.
And additionally, she says that Cheverly has received a letter of support from Acting County Executive Tar Jackson. And Prince George's County Council at-large member Calvin Hawkins II officially filed with the County Board of Elections today, running for the vacated county executive seat, which belonged to Senator-elect Angela Alsobrooks. Now, recently, there has been confusion surrounding Hawkins' status in the race following a statement posted on Rashawn Baker's social media accounts, insinuating that Hawkins is suspending his campaign. CTV spoke with Hawkins on the status of his campaign. Listen to what he had to say.
I think the words that former County Exec Baker shared was touching and moving, and I'm grateful. But as you said, I'm here now, and the people of this county will determine who's our next county executive, and I'm looking forward to that journey. And
today was the last day for all candidates to file in the race. Well, meanwhile, former Prince George's County Executive Rashawn Baker III was last elected to the position in 2014, finishing his term in 2018. And we spoke to Baker yesterday following his official campaign filing with the County Board of Elections. And Baker had a message for the generation of young voters who may not remember his work in the county.
The University of Maryland Cap Region was built under the Baker administration. The administration building that they sit in now in downtown Largo was built under Baker administration. You go to New Carrollton, that development was built under us. MGM, we went from being behind economically in this county to leading the state in job creation. Prince George's County used to be the most educated, affluent African-American county in the nation and probably in the world. Now that belongs to our sister city to the south, Charles County. And the question is why? Why have people chosen to go elsewhere? And I think it's because people have lost faith in the fact that we can, 1, keep them safe, 2, educate their children, and 3, provide the quality of life that they want to see.
And Baker would go on to run against Larry Hogan for governor. Well, local Maryland Democrats have placed their bids in the 2026 election to fight against President-elect Donald Trump's political slogan, Make America Great Again. 21st District Senator Jim Rosapep, along with delegates Jocelyn Pena-Melnick, Ben Barnes, and Mary Lehman, announced today that they are seeking re-election. In a joint statement, the Democratic team pledges to work to protect local communities from MAGA threats coming from Washington. They say, quote, "We need to put Marylanders first, and they are ready to continue the fight." And a pedestrian who was struck by a vehicle in October has now died. 47-year-old Dion Smith was hit by a vehicle on St. Barnabas Road on October 17th. Investigation shows the driver did not remain on the scene, and police report Smith died of his injuries this past Saturday. Now, as of right now, officers are still working to identify the driver and the vehicle in this incident. But anyone with any information on this case is asked to call 301-731-4422. And you're watching CTV News. I'm Michaela Newton. Still to come, a major pharmacy is being sued by the U.S. Justice Department. Find out why and if your family may have been affected. We'll be right back after the break.
I wish people knew that when you live in a small town like mine, it's much, much harder to find friends with common interests, especially ones my age. I often feel really alone.
Same here. Seems like every time we finally settle somewhere, I have to pack up and move again. By the time I make a friend, a real friend, I have to say goodbye to them.
I totally get it. I live in a big city, but it can feel just as lonely. It's tough, but it gets easier.
Honestly, I totally get what you're going through. It's nice to know that you feel the same.
You enjoyed my story. I really enjoyed your story as well.
Everyone likes rooting for their favorite team with some friends. But if you plan on drinking, don't drive. Designate a sober driver or schedule a ride share for a safe ride home. Be the make-up plan driver. Be the driver who saves lives.
Welcome back. The Christmas spirit is in the air, and soon will holiday travelers. CTV's Bryce Parker is at BWI Thurgood Marshall Airport with what you need to know if you are taking to the skies this holiday season.
On the first day of Christmas, the essay said to me, I'll boarding pass with your ID.
We are now 5 days out from Christmas, and December 20th marks the beginning of the busiest travel period of the year.
There's nothing wrong with coming through, making it through, and just chilling at your gate.
We want to make sure the traveling public is aware as well to be prepared to come to the airports, because it is going to be a travel period that's going to be very heavy.
BWI Thurgood Marshall Airport is expecting to see a 15% increase in travelers this holiday season. So if that's your airport of choice,
think ahead, and you're going to save yourself a lot of trouble. You'll be sitting at your seat chilling while everybody else is getting hung up by TSA. We don't want to stop you. Honestly, that's a lot of work. We'd like to just wave at you and keep you going, basically. But certain things we will have to stop.
Pourable and spreadable liquids over 3.4 ounces need to be in a checked bag, not your carry-on. But what about holiday treats?
Just make sure if you're coming through the checkpoints in your carry-on bag that the food is a solid, such as cakes, cookies, and pies.
Whew. So now that we know that Grandma's fruitcake is safe, what do I do with my kid's brand new toy set?
So we ask that you don't wrap your gifts. We encourage that you don't wrap them. Maybe put them in a gift bag or a gift box, because if our officers have an alarm or if they have to do a secondary screening on your bag, we're going to have to open up that package. So if you wrapped it, we're going to ruin your packaging there.
And make sure you're not traveling with gifts that are prohibited, such as tools and weapons. TSA will become the Grinch and steal your presents.
Year to date at Baltimore, we are currently at 46 firearms that our officers detected. 43 of those firearms were loaded coming through their carry-ons in the checkpoint. So we really want to get the traveling public to understand that that is strictly prohibited.
Now, if you would like to travel with your firearm, you must declare it first with your airline. Make sure it's unloaded and in a secure, locked box. And there's something I'm forgetting.
On the right day of Christmas, the essence said to me, none but to cancel.
As winter travel approaches, we have to make sure that we are ready for the winter weather that comes with it. So flights could get delayed or canceled. So make sure that you have a plan B so you do not miss any winter celebrations with your family. In BWI Airport, I'm Bryce Parker, CTV News.
All right, Bryce, thanks so much. We'll be sure to keep those tips in mind. Well, experts also recommend getting to the airport at least 2 hours before your boarding time if you're flying internationally. Well, as millions of Marylanders prepare to hit the roads for holiday travel, Maryland State Police will be increasing highway safety patrols over the next 2 weeks. State troopers from all 23 barracks will have checkpoints focused on impaired, aggressive, and distracted driving. According to the MVA's Highway Safety Office, 537 lives have been lost while traveling on Maryland roads this year, with thousands more injured. State police are encouraging drivers to plan for extra travel time, designate a sober driver in advance, and remember to yield the right-of-way to all emergency vehicles. And the Biden administration is reportedly considering an executive order to speed up the construction of data centers and the power plants to support them. Now, this could allow data centers to exceed pollution limits, use federal lands for construction, and get priority access to electricity over other consumers. And according to Environment America, U.S. data center electricity use is expected to rise, with some estimates predicting a 31% increase by 2030, while others foresee a 169% jump. And today, President Biden announced he's canceling more student debt for tens of thousands of public service workers, potentially his last big move on the issue before leaving office. The administration will spend $4.3 billion to forgive debt for 55,000 workers, thanks to fixes made to the Public Service Loan Forgiveness Program. Now, with this move, Biden's administration has made significant strides in student debt relief, and by scrapping pending regulations, he's ensuring that the incoming Trump administration won't easily undo the progress made. And on Thursday, 3 more Maryland school districts, Baltimore City, Howard County, and Talbot County, received full approval for their plans to implement the Blueprint for Maryland's Future. Now, this means 25% of the withheld Blueprint funds can now be released for education reform. And these districts joined 17 others that had their plans approved earlier. Meanwhile, Anne Arundel, Montgomery, and Prince George's counties got conditional approval. They have until February 15th to submit the missing paperwork to earn full approval. And Baltimore County is the only district still awaiting for approval. And Santa Claus makes a surprise visit to a local hospital today. Take a look at your screen. Your eyes aren't fooling you. That's jolly old St. Nick and an elf propelling down the side of the building of the University of Maryland Capital Regional Medical Center today. Now, Santa, who also goes by Lieutenant Nicholas Fiore and Jake Gigliotti with the Prince George's Police Department, greeted workers at the hospital this afternoon.
Helping the police department out today. We don't always have the opportunity to showcase our commitment and dedication to the police to the community. So we look forward to these opportunities where we can come out here and share this experience with the community. They're all rappel masters up there, and we have several lines. We have several safety lines. I don't know if you saw that there. So everything's safe. We check it just like we're checking Christmas lists. We check it once, twice, 3 times to make sure that everything's okay, and then we head down.
And Peoria says Prince George's Police wishes everyone a safe and happy holiday season. Well, Attorney General Anthony Brown is suing a Delaware company about PFA chemicals. Brown says W.L. Gore and Associates has released PFA chemicals from its Cecil County facilities for 50 years and kept quiet about its harms. PFA chemicals contaminates water, soil, and air and causes health problems like cancer. A Gore spokesperson says that it has worked with state regulators and have tested its facilities and submitted reports. Attorney General Brown says Gore should pay to help restoration efforts. And the U.S. Justice Department is suing CVS for filling unlawful prescriptions. The lawsuit says the company has filled many opioid prescriptions for no medical purposes since 2013. The department claims CVS violated the Controlled Substances Act for its opioid prescription practices. The suit also says CVS ignored signs from data and pharmacists of this conduct, and the department is asking the court to stop CVS from filling opioid prescriptions. But this comes as opioid addiction and deaths have affected many American families. And still to come on CTV News, raindrops on roses and whiskers on guinea pigs. If you still haven't found the perfect gift for that special someone, we may have just found what you need in our Pet of the Week. Stay tuned.
My name's Stacy. I'm 57, and I was adopted in 2020.
We were adopted in 2019.
And we were adopted in 2021.
We had a house, and it sounds crazy, but it wasn't a home. The one thing that Jake and Emma brought is it became a home.
When I met Dakota, he had just turned 14.
You weren't there for the first this and the first that. I missed the first words, but we got a lot of other firsts.
Watching her say, oh my God, I cannot believe I got my license. And she's like, I passed. And I'm like, girl.
See them grow. It is.
They chose to love us. They didn't have to. They chose us. Family.
You and you. Kids in the middle.
What I thought was a complete life was nowhere near complete. But it is now.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org.
Got one of these hanging on the wall? You're qualified. One of these? You're qualified too. Love a good checklist? Qualified. 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 Yep, qualified. Because if you know how to put up anything in your home, you're qualified to save lives by installing free smoke alarms in your community. Go to soundthealarm.org to find a volunteer event near you.
Anacostia River gets a D+, and it's not bad, it's actually an improvement. The 2024 State of the River report from the Anacostia Watershed Society says this year has been the river's best since 2014. And the report says chlorophyll in the water has improved, meaning the water has a good amount of nutrients for aquatic plants. The report also says toxins and trash removal are slowly improving as the county has implemented trash pickup programs. But the Anacostia Watershed Society says for more improvement, more effort is needed. And discount shoppers, pay attention. A retail chain, Big Lots, may be closing in its remaining Maryland locations. The retailer announced Thursday that it's preparing to close all of its stores after a sale to Nexus Capital Management fell through. Big Lots, which sells discounted furniture and home goods, declared Chapter 11 bankruptcy back in September after closing about 300 locations. Customers can look forward to going out of business sales as there are 21 Big Lot locations remaining here in Maryland. And a new affordable housing development coming to Capitol Heights has now started construction. The Cassidy is a multifamily complex located at 1200 Karen Boulevard. 7 of its units will be reserved for participants in the county's Fostering Youth Independence initiative. 3 other units will be used for county residents who are or at risk for homelessness. And the Cassidy is expected to be completed by April of 2027. And it's time for our Pet of the Week. Meet Bonnie. She's a 4-year-old gray and white guinea pig. She's been at the shelter since the 17th, and Animal Management says that Bonnie is not the only guinea pig in town.
We have about 22 other guinea pigs in our facility. During the month of December, we do have a Home for the Holidays adoption event where all of our adoption fees are waived. So up until December 31st, you're able to come to the facility and check out Bonnie and her other 22 guinea pig friends. We have males, females, we have 1-year-old guinea pigs, we have 4-year-old guinea pigs like Bonnie.
And if you would like to adopt Bonnie or any of her button-eyed friends, call Animal Management at 301-780-7200. All right, well, Simon Buggs is back with our Friday sports page. Simon, what do you have for us today?
That's right, McKinley. With the weekend coming up, you know I have some awesome football news in store for today. Stay tuned, guys. You'll love this. You'll love these stories. We'll be right back.
This is my house. My parents helped build it. Now we don't get wet when it rains. I don't get too hot or too cold inside. And I don't have to worry when the winds blow. This is my house. This is my house. This is my house. This is my house. My house. My house. I can play with my sister. I can play with my brother. I can play with my mother, my father, my family. My family. My family. This is my house. This is my house. I can study. I can be safe with my family. This is my house. This is my house. This is my house. This is my house. My house. My house.
This is my house.
Visit Habitat.org to find out how you can help more families like mine have a safe, decent place to call home.
Wake up and clear the clutter. Send your old electronics packing. In Maryland, you can e-cycle through many manufacturers or through your county, and usually it's free. Visit mde.maryland.gov/e-cycling to find out how to recycle electronics in your county. mde.maryland.gov/e-cycling.
Our individual voices are powerful, but not everything has a voice. Let us be a voice to the voiceless. The caretakers our home deserves. If there's one thing we've learned, it's that when we all come together, the sky is the limit. It's time to speak up for nature.
Okay, everyone, it's time for your Friday sports page. Now, my Washington Commanders will be taking the field this weekend to try and get their 10th win of the season against the Philadelphia Eagles. This will be the second time the Burgundy and Gold and the Birds will face off against each other. Philly came out on top in the first game, taking down Washington 26-18 back in Week 11. And it's crucial for the Commanders to make the necessary adjustments if they want to come out on top come Sunday.
When you're playing a team for the second time, always there's a few new looks and a few new wrinkles. And I think that's important because, you know, when you're playing and practicing a team, you card up all the looks and what's there, and there's always a few nuances that are different. It's driven by the front for sure, defensively. They've got a big, deep crew with, pass rush, acumen to them, and I thought the outside guys are playing strong. So when they're playing their, quarters where they're playing man-to-man and the rushers, that's when, they're at their best.
I mean, no matter who we play, who they play, everything starts up front. They got good football players over there. We got good football players here. So it's more so about the will and the want to up front between everybody and just the whole team. Want to go out there, who wants it more, and the more disciplined the team with the more want to, prevail in this game.
Kickoff is at 1 o'clock. Come on, y'all. We can't get swept by them. Let's send them back to Philly with an L. Meantime, the Baltimore Ravens will be in action this weekend against a division foe also in the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Purple and Black lost their first matchup to Pittsburgh a couple of weeks back, 18-16. Now, division games are always the one to watch, and head coach John Harbaugh and quarterback Lamar Jackson both talked about how much this game means to them.
Big picture, we talked briefly about the big picture, then we always come back to 1-0. We start 1-0, that's our focus. Here's the big picture. The big picture is this is our opportunity to win the division. We have to win this game to have an opportunity to win the division. And then let's do everything we can do to be 1-0, and put our best foot forward.
Being in front of our crowd, man, Flock Nation just being in the building, knowing it's a rival game, knowing what's at stake for us. I feel like the momentum from our crowd is just give us what we need, that extra boost.
Kickoff is tomorrow at 4:30. I can't wait. In MLB news, the Washington Nationals added some depth to the pitching position. The Nats have signed right-hander Michael Soroka to a one-year contract. The Canada native pitched a 4.74 earned runs average to go along with 84 strikeouts in the 79 innings for the Chicago White Sox last season. The one-time All-Star also struck out 13 of the 26 batters he faced with just 2 walks and a .083 opponent's batting average in his last 3 outings. Moving on to the world of college hoops, the Terps men's basketball team will be at Barclays Center tomorrow, taking on Syracuse. Tip-off is at noon. And the Washington Wizards came out on top against the Hornets last night, 123-114. This is just Washington's 4th win through 25 games this season. Their next one will be the Greek freak Giannis Antetokounmpo and the Milwaukee Bucks tomorrow at 8 o'clock.
All right, Simon, so how do you feel about your team's chances on Sunday?
I'm a little nervous about this one, Michaela, just because Philly's such a good team on both sides of the ball. But I feel like one thing we got to do to help improve our chances is we have to start better offensively. We can't take 3 quarters to finally put up a good amount of points like we did in the first game. So I feel like if we do that, we'll have a shot against Philly. But like I said, I'm a little nervous because Philly's one of the best teams in the league. But you know what they say, any given Sunday, so we'll see what happens.
Absolutely. Simon, thanks so much.
Of course.
All right, let's get a look at our 3-day weather forecast. Tonight, rain is expected until about 1 a.m., so please be careful on the roads. Tomorrow it's going to be mostly sunny with a high of 36. Sunday will be sunny with a high of 29, and we get a low of 15. Monday we get another sunny day. It'll be 35 degrees. And for our community calendar, 'tis the season of Face Your Fears. Starting tomorrow at 7 p.m., Laurel's House of Horror is kicking off their winter event, A Christmas Nightmare. The Laurel Haunted House has been adapted for the holidays in a terrifying twist of fear and good cheer. The house will be open until December 28th, but for tickets or more information, visit laurelhaunt.com. And that's all the time we have. Thanks so much for joining us for CTV News. We'll see you again Monday.
Good night, everybody, and good luck on Sunday, Washington.
On the first day of Christmas, the essay said to me, I'll boarding pass with your ID. On the second day of Christmas, the essay said to me, 2 latex gloves and a boarding pass with your ID. On the third day of Christmas, the essay said to me, 3 1-1s, 2 latex gloves and a boarding pass with your ID. On the fourth day of Christmas, the essay said to me, 4 crying kids, 3 1-1s, 2 latex gloves and a boarding pass with your ID. On the fifth day of Christmas, the essay said to me, 5 will I give. 4 crying kids, 3 1-1, 2 latex gloves and a boarding pass with your ID. 7, stranded. 6, back to checking.